Hello, people. What's up? Griff will be joining us in a second, but before that, it's me riding solo for a bit, like the brief period we had. How are we feeling? It's been a long time. We knew with the Seahawks picking at 16 that there would be this waiting period. I'm kind of glad that, obviously, good players are going. Like I like Cole Bishop. I know Griff was high on Tyler Nubin in terms of the safety position. They may have missed out because obviously Javon Bullard went as well. Kind of missed out on that ledge, however you view those different prospects. But I'm glad John Schneider hasn't tried to you can't call the Leonard Williams move a mistake, I don't think. But he hasn't tried to, as I just adjust my camera, he hasn't tried to overdo it or compound a thing and got too aggressive chasing what is ultimately a second round pick. And it's crazy seeing how that kind of mini run at the 40s to 50s for corners, teams were giving up they were giving up serious picks to move up like 10 spots in the corner run. So yeah, it would have cost Seattle a lot. Now, I'm not saying that means Schneider is not going to trade. I'm actually interested, and I'll be slightly behind you, chat, but I'm very interested in... Now, Junior Colson's obviously the flashy name. I don't really want to talk about that too much because if he lasts at 81, I'll be absolutely shocked. But I am curious, and I tweeted it earlier. What if, say, in the 110s, where obviously Seattle has a fourth rounder, pick 118, what if you could package your two fourth round picks to get a additional third round pick? Like, what is the drop off like in the draft from the 80s at certain positions? We haven't yet seen a run on the next tier of guards, have we? I know there's some people advocating for like a Christian Haynes. Please correct me if I'm wrong as well, chat, but I haven't seen him drafted yet. We haven't seen that kind of run on the next ledge of interior guys. So what if you're able to get your linebacker at 80 and then you're like, well, hang on a second, we don't want to get left out here. Let's try and package our fourth round picks up and go and get a good guard as well. Would you be interested in that? I think it's something that we could see happen. I really do. Because 80 to 110 could be a seriously significant drop. It really could. Not just a guard, but could also be the next tiers of safeties. Like if there's a Malik Mustafa, right, and you're like, well, hang on a second, we want someone who can run, hit, and tackle, then that would be nice. So also, good reminder again that it is nice that, in theory, the needs that you'd perceive from the outside of the Seahawks organization, guard, possibly linebacker, but you'd think Mike linebacker, it doesn't seem... those are positions which never get taken that high. So, in theory, this third round pick at 81, and we're approaching it now. I've just seen the 49ers selection announced. But in theory, you should still have an okay option in the third round. It's nice that those aren't premium needs. So, in terms of a draft where you didn't need the second round pick, hey, you could always do the second round pick, right? But especially when you're picking mid in terms of your finishing position in the season. But it's not the worst case scenario. Cameron, good to see you. Hey, chat, good to see all of you. And speaking of which, Corey, great point. Seattle also has 2 fourth round picks and 2 fifth round picks next year, thanks to comp picks. I mean, that is still to obviously be confirmed, but they may have some wiggle room to do something. I just think with how Schneider's operated before, and don't get me wrong, a lot of teams might be thinking the same thing of, hey, we're not moving out of the third round. But it just takes one team to tango, and you might be able to get a partner where you can trade back up, get into your ledge, and hit on some good players that you feel good about. crazy how early Edgerrin Cooper went, isn't it, compared to the rest of these linebackers? I know Peyton Wilson on here on the NFL Network coverage, DJ has him graded highly. But he was always going to fall because of the medical stuff as well, you'd have thought. Along with, maybe some people aren't as high on Peyton Wilson. But there's that next tier of linebackers to start flying off, isn't there? We've only seen one go. You'd say that tier of safeties has gone, as I've said. Running backs kind of gone. Corner is like a wasteland. Like, all the corners are gone. And the D tackles went as well, didn't they? So, but all of these players who've gone, I didn't expect Seattle really to have a shot at. Maybe one of the safeties, but I don't think they'd have been overly surprised by how it's shaken out so far. So, really, they're well positioned. However, not to be a doomer, but this stretch now from 65 to 81 is where things I think are going to get a bit painful. And that is where, players where you're like, okay, that's annoying. We didn't have a slightly higher pick to take that. And the closer it gets to 81 is the closer that you're like, damn, we've waited so long. And remember, last draft, Seattle waited out patiently and were somewhat rewarded. They even did that small trade down from 81 because there wasn't any players that they really liked anymore. I think this time it could be the opposite, where they don't wait it out and they go, hey, let's just get a guy we feel good about. Again, a reason to maybe do a little small trade up. Now, I also tweeted before I came on air that 3 hours ago, before the start of day 2, that I was concerned that there would be a linebacker run that the Seahawks miss out on. All it takes is one team to take a Junior Colson, and suddenly they're all going to go, I think. So, yeah, it's finally poised right now. But we've also got stuff to talk about in terms of the John Schneider-Mike Macdonald press conference that I'm going to talk about with Griff. Byron Murphy II, more reaction to that pick. So it's going to be a loaded episode, but yeah, it's kind of a scary waiting game. Cameron asks, who are my top 3 linebackers for the Seahawks? Colson, Mike Barrett. Griff has arrived. Mike Barrett, and then McGee. But that is like one round 3 pick. That's one round 4 pick, and that's one maybe 7th round pick, 6th round pick. So I don't know necessarily if they're top in that sense. You might have to say Jalen Ford over Mike Barrett because he's actually got a Mike body type. Griff, let's bring Griff in. Chat, be nice to Griff. Let's give him a good welcome. Griffin, you're live on the Seattle Overload podcast. How does it feel?
I'm live right now.
You're live.
Wow, thanks for having me on. Hi, Mom.
Problem, man. You're a guest on your own show.
It's like being a tourist in your own city, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Malachi Corley just went. I liked him. He's kind of fun. I think he'll be productive.
Yeah.
So shoot, man. Do you think they trade up?
Well, this is what we're talking about the chat. Hey, when you weren't here, chat was being nice. So I was wondering, Griff, you could package the 2 4th-round picks, and the drop off from 80 to 110 is it could be like a big ledge for certain positions. Like there's going to be a linebacker run at some point, and also interior offensive line. That next group of guards hasn't started going yet, like Dominic Pooney, Christian Haynes, Mahogany, if you put him in that category. So all of that to say, yeah, I could see them trying to get an extra round 3 pick and getting rid of the 4th-round picks and going, hey, the draft is kind of weak this year depth-wise anyway. It's the last year of the COVID years, right? Or maybe next year is. But anyway, they always talk about how weak the draft is. They spoke about in the 7th round and even maybe the 6th round how they start just going straight for need and they just treat it basically like priority free agency. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the 5th round like? What? And then as Sukman points out again, and as Corey highlighted, they should be getting some comp picks, like 4th round and 5th round picks next year.
Yeah.
And you could always get like a future pick to get aggressive. And then a small trade up from, because they've waited so long, you'd hate to get to like 70 and then Coulson goes, or in my view. Like, I don't see how being extra patient, and what are we talking here? Giving up like a 6th and a 4th, or
Probably. See, if the hesitance to give up capital next year could be that I still think that they're banking some of that to trade for a high quality starter that's established in the league already. Depending on how the draft goes.
Right. Something Schneider is well versed with, and as we mentioned yesterday, something that basically took the Baltimore defense to, like, what were they, top 10 to being like hella elite when Roquan Smith was acquired.
See, it's really tough right now because there's going to be a cliff after 81 at both linebacker and they really need both of those bad.
That's exactly that's why I think you have to give up. You have to try and get back to the 3rd with the 4th round picks, or at least one of them, and then maybe a future pick.
Right. So of tackles that can convert to guard, there's I'm trying to remember their names.
Well, a few tackles have gone. I don't know if necessarily they were the guard conversions, but
hold up. So Kingsley went already. All right.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Well, Pooney, we've talked about Pooney, but Kieran Amegaji, and Caden Wallace, I think, are all guard capable players. Mm-hmm. I have not focused on Javon Foster at all. Isaiah Adams is another guy, but I wasn't a fan of him.
Javon Foster sounds super familiar.
Missouri.
Yeah, why do I know that name? Did he test really well?
I believe he did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and he had the arm length. Griff, can you turn your television down just slightly? Yeah. I obviously want you to be able to hear it, but thank you very much. Right. Well, chat. What
was the other one that Corey just mentioned as well?
Chat's also mentioning Matt Gonsalves.
Yeah, I feel like he's more of a tackle though. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, and there's also a suggestion of Zach Zinter. I mean, that seems like it will be a medical deal where he could go undrafted, but also, I know you spoke about it when we did our like potential guard look, but a lot of Michigan fans weren't that high on him. They kind of viewed him as a day 3 guy, which, I mean, the 4th round is technically day 3, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Carl Hiltbrunner asking, I'm out of the loop. What positions are the greatest need for the Seahawks right now? Guard. Brandon Coleman just went to the Commanders. Yeah. So this could be the guard run. So Seattle might need to try and make a move here if they're after a serious guard. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, BB, duh.
BB would shock me. Just, it's so stupid, but and just overly simple. But when you have 31 and a half inch long arms, for John Schneider to take that, it would just shock me in the 3rd round.
Yeah. He's a player though.
He likes length though. Yeah, but he,
No, I get it. Just knowing him. Haynes is still on the board, right?
Yeah, he is.
So.
And Mahogany, however you view him.
I just think I just wasn't a fan of Mahogany's game overall. Haynes, though, I could get behind Haynes.
Okay.
Haynes and BB, I'd be okay with. To your point about what John prefers, I think it would be Haynes. So, man, guard is such an important position they need to improve. And I'm not sure any of these guys improve it. They just get you back to neutral.
So then is the thinking not, well, then let's not make the mistake. Let's just not force that.
Right.
You've got the hand you've been dealt. Let's not go bust.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that gambling analogy.
There you go. Poker. Part of how they're judging O-line is that they might just see last year as an anomaly with the tackles getting hurt. Them staying on the field, I said this yesterday, but them staying on the field is as important as getting a better guard, right? And then also, what if internally they're just extremely high on Oluwatimi at center? And then at that point, it's like, okay, you've got 3 high-quality starters that takes pressure off your guards. I'm just trying to think what their rationale might be. I'd be surprised if they don't go guard at 81, honestly, even though I would prefer them to take Colson.
I don't think Colson's going to be there.
Who would take Colson at this point?
Anyone. Get a bloody linebacker, man.
Cowboys. You can see the Cowboys.
Baltimore.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. So. Yeah. The Chargers.
Patrick Queen's gone. So, but I don't know if he'd play Will anyway. The Dolphins with the tree they've got there.
Yeah, Chargers just took Colson.
Oh, well, there you go then. Not a surprise. The Michigan defensive tree. So that's I mean, it was not surprising. I said I'd be shocked if he lasted to 81, and he hasn't. So now with the next linebackers chat for the Cope is as Mike's Trevor Wallace, Cedric Gray.
Well, shit.
What other Mike's, Griff? Jalen Ford, Trevor Wallace, Cedric Gray.
I feel like Trevor Wallace is the safest of those 3.
Yeah, and you're really taking him as just betting on your coaching and your culture, and his best football still to come. Whatever was doing his inconsistency, we can just coach and unpick and unlock.
Right. My thing with Ford is more of a vision. I like his movement ability, and I like that he probably guesses more, but I feel like he's trying to apply what he sees in tape study. He's trying to be really reactive. I just feel like that could be harnessed into something. And then again, with Wallace, it's like the rate at which he's right is pretty high. It's just why he's just a tick behind everything. Whereas the rate of which Ford is right is lower, but when he is right, he's really right type of thing.
Yeah, when I watched Ford, I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just like, yeah, it's a solid player, but I wanted him to take over the game or make a really splashy TFL or something, and it just never really happened.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for traitsy linebackers, so.
Right. It just felt like Trevor Wallace played slower than he needs to be.
But that terrified me. That really terrifies me because I'm like, this guy should not be like this. So what is going on?
It was a weird experience watching Trevor Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. But so Ford, Gray, Wallace, I'm going to take any of them. I mean, Jordan McGee, he played Will primarily. I think he played like, I mean, you say Will, but we don't need to get into this Michael Will thing, but a lot of the time they seem sub package and he's lined up in an A gap, you know? Right.
But I
I mean,
think he's a Will in Seattle's system. Like a lot of his
yeah,
coverage stuff looks more Will like, just his movement.
yeah. I mean, he's the best. He's the best athlete over 230 pounds, like just moving in space in the whole draft, maybe. I mean, incredibly fast and fluid and change of direction and just natural.
Right.
And honestly, like he also gets concept. He knows what the offense is doing. Like he demonstrates that understanding. Like I
Yeah.
know what offenses are doing
Yeah,
to me.
everything he was doing, I was like, wow, this is flashy. Like he's making plays, he's running, he's hitting, it's splashy, right?
Yeah.
But it's against North Texas,
Right.
which they
Right.
had a damn good spread offense, but they don't have any NFL prospects. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I hope they're not completely turned off to putting Javon Baker back at Mike if they really like one of the Will prospects.
and they did mention, you know, they said they'd move them around a bit, even though there was obviously the suggestion that he was more the Will and Dodson they viewed as the Mike. There's ways schematically you can put them in the right spots for the assignment you're asking of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think I am slightly more a fan of the game of Dodson than you are.
I mean, I like him against the run. I think he's genuinely good against the run. I like how physical he is.
Yeah, I think in coverage, I think Macdonald can coach it.
Do you? Okay.
Maybe. No,
I mean,
I'm not confident. I just think I am more confident than you are in that. Or who is the linebackers coach?
I
That's
keep forgetting.
disgraceful. We don't know.
I can picture him, but I can't.
You can picture him. Well, that's no good. So this is now where the other linebackers and guards are going to go, right?
Yeah.
So it could be bad. Now, other thing, we're fixated on guard and linebacker for obvious reasons. Is there? I know you're upset. I saw your tweet about Javon Bullard going. We spoke about that, but is there another safety who they could take? I mean, Malik Mustafa's still out there, and he's the best tackling safety in the draft. He can run and hit. I don't know much about the zone drop ability, but he the stuff I've seen in a quarter, picking up like a slot vertical, he looks pretty damn interesting. And yeah, his tackling is just wow.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, is Hicks still out there? Mustafa definitely.
Hicks is he's very intriguing. Also, just can't tackle because he just dips his head. But in terms of the athletic ability, the versatility of assignment and then performance as well, he's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'd get excited about those picks. You know, I'd be like, okay.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, they're the best of the rest. Hicks also fits kind of the height and length profile and density profile.
Yeah.
That McDonald seems to really covet.
Yeah. He was the first guy I mocked in terms of that because I just clicked on safeties in the third round who are 6'2" and more and ran quick, and I was like, oh, this guy's perfect.
Yep.
Wow, the Colson highlights are very upsetting.
Solid player. And however good Colson ends up being will be driven by basically like how assignment correct is he going to be, right?
Yeah, and he was very assignment correct in college. So
well, and the thing with him is that he improved every single season. And while he was assignment correct in college, you can still compare him to his cohort, Michael Barrett, who's even more assignment correct and keyed even quicker and more consistently. And it's like if you can imagine Colson's traits with Michael Barrett's process, then you're getting into that DeMario Davis, CJ Mosley level with Colson and his physical profile.
And how cool for him that he gets to play under Jesse Minter, like his old DC, and and it's going to be just a continuation of what he knows, which again, the improvement, step up in competition in terms of the NFL, but the improvement should continue. They're having a very interesting draft, the Chargers. I love Lad McConkey as well. Yeah. Well, and like any linebacker, Griff, how good he'll be will depend on how good their pass rush is, right?
Yeah.
Like, is Bosa and Mac really creaking still?
Right.
So, anything else stand out to you about day 2 so far, Griff?
Hold on, I'm shit posting really quick.
Oh dear.
Probably. Michael Hall. He went where he should have gone, but just so many tackles going ahead of him.
Like defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Chris Jenkins going ahead of him was a bit surprising to me.
Yeah.
Even Mason Smith, who you liked as a player, but going ahead of Hall. I guess it speaks to Hall being young and maybe there's some immaturity there. I know DJ mentioned that in his on-air hit. So Braden Fisk going 39 to the Rams, and they gave up did they give up a second-round pick next year to do that? I think they did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Andrew Phillips to the Giants.
Yeah, good player. They highlighted the wrong guy. Huh.
The Giants have had a cool draft. I mean, I might have not have gone Neighbors. I might have taken O'Dunes, but still.
Who did they take in the second?
They took Newbin.
Yeah. Well, did you watch the cut up of his interceptions?
Yeah. I mean, he's still a good player.
Not. Yeah, no, I'm not going to ding him for that. I just think in the NFL, those are catches and tackles.
You're probably right.
I don't know how much the ball skills translate. That's what I'm saying. Well, they translate, but they don't. It's not a pick because the NFL.
It's not. Yeah, but I don't see. I honestly don't give two shits about interceptions for back seven players. I just don't care. It's too. It's more the process that led to the interception that I care about, and you can have greater process plays that don't end in an interception than plays that do end in an interception. There's just so many things going on.
Right.
I just think
that's baiting, and he's kind of a baiter and good positioning, I guess.
A master at it.
Yeah. So Brandon's saying my mic is quiet. Chat. Any thoughts on that? This is a ongoing issue. Like I have the app we use. It says automatically adjust your mic. It could be that I wasn't speaking into the mic.
Panthers just took Trevin Wallace.
Okay. Yeah, so Seattle is going to be in a hole right now because there's a long 10 picks. Isaiah Adams went to the Cardinals. Like, there's going to be a guard and linebacker run just before Seattle's pick.
Honestly.
Oh, brother.
Honestly, just go BPA. Even if it's a position that is not a guard or linebacker, just go BPA and then be willing to trade 2025 capital for a starter that you can fit under the cap somehow.
Right. I mean, Griff does have a slightly different voice to me, chat, so that could be part of it, as you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. Cam's saying take a corner. I mean, so many corners have been drafted.
Yeah. Is Kyrie Robinson still there?
Yes.
That's interesting. 6'3", 32-inch arms, 200 pounds. Some versatility there. Loves to come downhill for a corner. What is something that would shock you, but you wouldn't be upset by at 83? or 81. I don't even know.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, the last time Schneider drafted in the 3rd round.
Oh, right. So it's going to work then. Guaranteed.
I wouldn't be upset at that. I think that's a worthwhile approach.
That would shock me.
I was thinking like receiver, where
Okay.
it feels so.
I wouldn't like that.
Depending on the player.
To be honest, I don't know how happy I'm going to be anyway, because just the needs I feel there's no way of really addressing them. So
right. I mean, unless they're like, we don't care if Laken Tomlinson's our starter. Jalen McMillan,
they
Roman
totally
Wilson,
could be doing that,
Yeah. Devontae Walker.
Who is the next best SEC guard? Because knowing John Schneider,
I don't think there is one.
No.
It's all the other conferences.
Yeah.
Big 12, Big 10.
Yeah, they could take a tight end, because only Ben Sinot went. The rest of them have yet to go. But what does your gut tell you?
I think it's going to be Haynes.
If he doesn't get picked.
So BB just went to.
Yeah, see, they're gonna miss out, I think. Not that I, for the reasons I've outlined, but I don't think Schneider would have done that. But I could be off.
I feel like Seattle would be a very good landing spot for Rattler.
Why? Because there's Geno Smith who can play.
Because I feel like Geno is the type of competitor. Allie.
Wow. Someone disagrees.
Allie girl. You have opinions, and that's great. I want to hear your opinions, but I think it'd be best if Rattler sat for a year, but he's pretty good at the procedural aspects of quarterback play. But because Geno's elite at the procedural aspects of quarterback play, it would squeeze everything out of Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't see that being a contentious relationship. I see it being a very competitive one, but a constructively competitive one. And I feel like they would both even be better for it, because Geno's arm talent was underrated, and now it's accepted as like he actually has arm talent, right? But he doesn't have Rattler's arm talent. Like Rattler's arm talent is, he basically has Geno's arm, but the ability to get all the same throws off with a disturbed platform.
Agreed.
And it's like Geno on platform legitimately has a top 10 arm in the NFL. But when his platform gets disturbed, or if he's just straight up abandoned platform, the arm strength dwindles, and then the accuracy does too. Rattler's doesn't so much. Like the percent that his arm talent decreases when his base is disturbed or disrupted is like 5-10% disruption. He can still get those throws off. And he plays like a pocket passer first and foremost. But it definitely doesn't help them in 2024. But like, he could be the quarterback of the future. And I'm saying that of the mind of like, if they gave Geno a 3-year contract extension right now, I'm all for it. I mean, so long as he avoids major injury, I don't see his arm falling off anytime soon. And I totally see him being a quarterback good enough to be the main reason why you have a top 5, top 7 offense. so long as the front office takes care of the O-line. And what I mean by take care of the O-line is not asking for much. I'm just asking for better than last year, because that's what Geno's demonstrated all he needs to get you in the top 7 statistically on offense. So
fair. Right. So going back to guards, you've got names like Dominic Pooney, Christian Haynes, Christian Mahogany, Mason McCormick.
probably have to look out for Cone for Miami.
Yeah.
And then Kieran Omega. My God, Kieran Omega-Gaji. I just
What
butchered
about Delmar Glaze, tackle convert, really big measurables.
Maryland 6'4".
Yeah, with nearly 35-inch long arms.
I didn't watch him, but it could be.
And he's younger as well. Redshirt junior compared to 6th year senior. Then linebacker. Let's read out names.
Falcons took Trice.
Okay.
Trice got bad advice. Whoever told him to drop weight for the combine, he should have gone in the 2nd round.
That was weird. Who do you think advises them on stuff? Like the agent, and then you just don't know the motivation sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm shocked Tavondre Sweat went so high.
Yeah, honestly, his tape doesn't merit that. It just doesn't. I don't know, man.
So with right now, Griff at linebacker, Cedric Gray, Jordan McGee, Jalen Ford, Michael Barrett. It feels early for Barrett, McGee, even Gray in the 3rd round feels too early to me.
Yeah, I feel like Macdonald would prefer Gray just because of that like short area twitchiness, and he has a low center of gravity, and he eats up ground quickly, like when changing direction and stuff. I feel like
you think he's twitchier than McGee?
No, but he is still twitchy and has like the density, like the ability to take on contact when he's not even necessarily ready for it. It reminds me a little bit stylistically, not quality, but stylistically, of Raquan Smith and Patrick Queen and their body types both being similar. Yeah. He just has a similar body type. And trait-wise, he might prefer that package. Like, okay, let me coach this collection of traits as opposed to that collection of traits. But I feel like in an ideal world, he'd be a 4th rounder. Because again, like he did not outplay his teammate. Mm-hmm. I forget who the middle linebacker was. I think 29, or one was 29, one was But
he's not in the draft, right?
I don't think so.
No.
What was that guy's name?
While you look that up, safeties wise, still available is Jaden Hicks, who some people safety one. Has Kinchins gone?
No, Kinchins is a candidate to take there.
Yeah, Cameron Kinchins, Malik Mustafa. Those are the names I'd be interested in. The rest is yeah.
So Sebastian Cheeks was the other guy. He's a redshirt freshman.
Cheeks. You have to be good if you're called Cheeks.
So a redshirt freshman was out playing Gray. At least I think that's who I was watching.
So what did you think of Kinchins?
I mean, he is truly the definition of a good football player at safety who is hampered by the fact that he runs a 4.6 And you're getting right into the theory of the Bradley McDougals of the world, who I'm totally blanking on other names, but there are like 10 safeties in the league right now that run a 4.6 something and are good players.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he has Pro Bowl potential, but like his quarters, like he anticipates in quarters really well. His technique is good. He's really comfortable coming downhill. Like it's very natural for him. He doesn't hesitate at all. He takes good angles. But in moments where it's just speed on speed, yeah, he gets beat. So, I mean, you take that kind of player in the third or fourth round. And some of them hit and some of them don't.
Yeah.
If you want, oh, damn it. So, Kieran Omegagaji went to the Bears. Jonah Ellis to the Broncos. I like Jonah Ellis. I think I might like Ellis more than like Braswell and stuff.
I remember you were early on him as well. As in, you spoke about him in a random early podcast that we did. I could not cope my way into Peyton Wilson.
No. He's an overhang, dude.
He's an overhang with tiny arms and a bad knee / injury history.
Yep.
So this is where it's going to get nasty, I think. Like 6 picks to wait. What do you think of Zaire Franklin, Griff, going up on the stage and saying to think of the players? I very much like that.
I think I missed that. No, I missed that. What happened?
Oh, it was cool. He was just announcing the Colts pick, and he mentioned Vontae Davis passing away and Corey. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sad, man.
But he was saying clap for the players, which and that we need to take care of them better, which is something. Well, it's something Pete Carroll said after they stopped playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Important.
Dude, the more I think about it, the more I feel like Rattler makes just so much sense. Drafting a quarterback, developing a quarterback, Green Bay model.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's an asshole. Because, like, right now, I would take... And this is without watching them and obviously without the character analysis, but how big is the drop-off from Hicks to Mustafa?
Right.
How big is the drop-off from Haynes to Pooney?
Yeah.
Like, can you... But then also, Griff, obviously Seattle's pick is right now. Pick 81. Their next fourth round is at 102.
Yeah. Yep.
So can you afford to wait 19 more selections and not miss out? Don't know. Oh, wow. Can you imagine being a Denver fan?
Yeah. Bo Nix, I don't know, man. Hey, at least Sean can scheme up benders and weak choice to his heart's content now.
Yeah. And he's getting paid quite a lot of money.
Yep.
Do you think Denver would take Peyton Wilson?
Maybe,
oh no, they took Jonah.
maybe.
They took Jonah Ellis. Okay, never mind. I'm behind.
I could see that though.
Yeah, it's that type of team. Okay, interesting. So Houston traded up to the number 78 for picks 86 and 123.
Yeah.
Chat, who do you want? Who do you want the Seahawks to take? We've waited long enough.
Ethan, Austin Booker, I would be all over that. He's long and very skilled edge. He is not very measurably athletic, but he's got the coordination and the ability to reshape and stuff, and just incredibly he's a natural, a field player.
And he's long, yeah. But can Seattle really take an edge, Griff?
No, they shouldn't.
They should not. Yeah, everyone's saying Rattler or best player available, safety or guard. What about TJ Tampa, Griff? That's a name.
He's a name for sure. I didn't watch him though. I thought he'd go in the second.
I just didn't. I don't know what he is really. I don't know how much of a fit he is. I need to watch more of him. Like, is he not more of a zone guy? Like, is he a safety, or can you play man with him as well?
Right.
Oh, Glaze went to the Raiders, so yeah, another guard convert option.
I tried to dive into Murphy a little bit more today. I was hunting for 3-tech snaps. He plays so few.
I know. That's why I was like, I think he's more of a 2-eye. That's something we should talk about after.
Yeah.
Like as a whole ass segment maybe. Yeah, I was surprised though. He it's weird how they, because we spoke about it, but yeah, they put Sweat was often playing the 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess more size because actually Murphy, when he gets comboed, like, it's all well and good bending the knee, and I think that works better as a 2-eye nose than a 3, like against college type run games. But at 3, he did kind of get thrown out the club sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see him play nose exactly the way Seattle schemed the nose last year.
Power stepping. Yeah, but I mean, they said in a post-draft press conference about how they think he's... Oh, no, he said how he'd been told he's going to play 3 technique. But,
yeah.
Oh, the Colts just trade up to 79. This could be the guards now. With Glaze going, Houston trading up, and then the Colts trading up to 79. This could be the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are still some really productive receivers on the board.
But yeah, obviously Leonard Williams is a starter in the defense, but then to tell Murphy that he's also going to mainly be F3 technique, is that just speaking in base terms? And then is it they're going to play either side of a nose? Is that Leonard Williams is going to play like as a to the tight end as a 4-eye or 4-tech to the tight end side in base, or is it they're both going to play 3-tech and they're both going to start, and it's going to be also nickel bear? Could it be that? I don't know.
Right.
Who was it? Was it Draymond Jones? Schneider said he can play anywhere from something to a 6-tech or even a 9. So definitely thinking of Draymond Jones is named.
Wasn't that one of the John's assistants.
That's right. It was
What's his
maybe
face? Or the other guy?
Nolan, Aaron. I don't know.
McMillan would be fun. Kind of a Jackson Smith and Jigba copycat, though. If you're Sean McVay, that's not a problem.
Yeah, like is McMillan is McMillan a better player than Christian Haynes?
Yeah, I'm not saying they should go receiver. I would definitely go.
No, I'm asking, like, if you're going pure best player available, who is the best player available right now? Is it one of the guards, or are we getting too needy?
McMillan, Haynes, McMillan, Haynes, Hicks are probably the best remaining players.
Jaden Hicks.
And Jaden Hicks and Mustafa probably. Tyke Smith or Kitchens as well. Tyke Smith is interesting. He's a true pure nickel, like throwback nickel, like Walter Thurman, Jeremy Lane. Like he's a true man up nickel, but he's not a huge presence, but he's physical.
Right, and that's something that Carl Hamilton gets a lot of the, and rightly so, a lot of the attention from how he played nickel with Baltimore. But they did have Arthur Mollett as the backup small true nickel type throwback player, and he did play some football when they had a few injuries. He got in, and sometimes if they needed a bit of a different type of cover guy, they put him in. So I hit my mic, make myself jump. They could work that in. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to when the Seahawks get close, I'm gonna try to watch it live. No spoilers. So I'm gonna exit out of the chat.
Excellent. I might do a lucky wee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have fun. Good luck.
Thanks. If the Seahawks don't take a good player, it's because of me.
Then there was one. Jermaine Burton to the Bengals. Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, he's a talented player. He just, for whatever reason, wasn't as productive as he should have been, but his tape is actually pretty good. And then that makes you think about T. Higgins and what the Bengals are doing there. The prudent thing here, I think, is you got to go Haynes. I feel like that's the most important thing. I think 81 is good value for that. All right, so we're effectively next because Twitter's already onto the Bengals pick. So,
right. Well, who got taken then?
Colts took Goncalves, or is that how you pronounce it?
Gonsalves. Is it Cedilla? Is that what we call it?
And then the Bengals took Jermaine Burton.
Oh, well, you could get who you want then. Christian Haynes.
Yep. I mean, it should be Haynes. It should be Haynes probably.
Yeah, I'm going to hide the chat. We can do the live reaction. You can turn your TV up if you want, Griff. Get the audio in there. And he's only 24. Yeah, and Haynes ticks all the boxes. Like, he tested well. Yeah, he's long armed. And the only issue is that he played all of it at right guard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, so in terms of, are you going to move him to the left side or?
Yeah. What's funny? What's funny is what will impact the Seahawks' chances in the division the most is nothing they have done this yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but the 49ers potentially trading away Deebo Samuel and Aaron Donald retiring. That's way more impactful than anything else that the Seahawks could have done.
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton. I'm still here. I got it.
You got to get comfy.
Oh, thought I had to get something from the dog.
Ah.
Come on.
Well, I think Haynes is too obvious. I think there's got to be something else at play.
Too obvious.
Well, come on now. What would make you mad?
What if they went a tight end? What if they went that Texas tight end that was mocked to them by some
Jatavion Sanders?
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's productive only through 2 seasons. And he tested well at 6'4", right?
Okay.
That would be so weird with how much money or for what they did the rostering to this point.
That'd be super weird.
I mean, like Grubb knows that his offense, to go deep as often as they did, he had immaculate protection. He knows he needs dudes up front.
You would think, you would hope. But Grubb's not the GM.
Yeah. You just hope that. Oh, damn. Ah, shit. I spoiled myself. Damn it.
Well, why'd you go onto the internet? What is your feelings without spoiling it for me?
That's fine. That's what they should have done.
Oh, well then. That tells me that it's Christian Haynes.
Is it? Does it?
Well, that's what they should have done. But yeah. So I'm guessing at least one of the safeties should be there when they pick again at 102.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I liked Haynes in the run game. I liked his anchor. Some speed rushes gave him problems, I thought. But I'll do another deep dive on him.
Right, so they took Christian Haynes.
Oh, shit. Did I? Yeah, they did. Sorry.
That's okay. You're not very good at this, are you?
No, I'm not.
To be fair, we didn't have the second round to practice. So.
Very true. Very true.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. He had a good enough Senior Bowl, right? I believe he got some left guard action at the Senior Bowl as well. Wait. Was he at the Senior Bowl or was he at the Shrine Bowl?
Cardinals took Tip Ryman.
Griff, was Haynes at the Senior Bowl or was he at the Shrine Bowl?
I don't remember.
He might have actually not been there. But yeah, it's interesting because are you saying, hey, buddy, learn left guard? Or are you saying all of your starts came at right guard? We're not going to mess you up. So
yeah,
you're just competing with Anthony Bradford. And then it's Laken Tomlinson, right?
Right.
In terms of waiting this out, I mean, he was a top 50 player for some people. He tested a lot better, I think, than some people may have expected off the tape. I mean, if you go to MathBomb and relative athletic score, he is the 133rd most athletic guard since 1987. Relative athletic score, standout numbers of 33-inch vertical jump. He also has 33.5 long-inch arms, which again ticks the John Schneider box. And his pass protection was like a standout trait for a lot of analysts, right? If you look at Brandon Thorne, who's obviously the go-to guy for NFL stuff, he had Haynes for Bleacher Report as his best finisher. He was at the Senior Bowl because he was excellent for the American team. And he even got his helmet ripped off and got into a bit of a tussle because he wouldn't play dirty, but he was just finishing. So it gives everything at the end of the play.
Yeah.
A lot of effort. So there'll be some fun tape, I imagine. And yeah, he did play some left guard and center in the Senior Bowl, looking over my notes. So I guess they will be talking about that in their press conference.
Yeah.
And in terms of the physicality mantra that Mike Macdonald outlined as being the goal of his for Seattle, they've got more physical, haven't they? They've done that. They've gone for the trenches, built a wall on defense, and now on the offense, they've solidified that too with Haynes, who, yeah, we'll have to see if they view him as a left or right guy. It's a lot to ask of someone. And it's good that he's a young 24, right? He's not going to be 25. Well, his birthday's the 13th of April, so he's just turned 24.
Yeah.
It's crazy how quickly yours was spoiled. Like, the coverage is so far behind the. That's cool. The Seahawks have a girls flag football team perhaps in the pick with Tyler Lockett. Nice. There you go.
Get him. Go get him. Miles and Brady are squaring up right now.
Really? Is it kind of? Is it like in a football way, or
they're wrestling?
They're straight up wrestling. Nice.
Can you hear this?
I can.
Sounds like a stampede. That's good.
Yeah, so on the NFL Network coverage, they're mentioning that he had a big Senior Bowl as well. I know that's where impressed people. Another guy's if he didn't play at UConn, maybe he gets more exposure, drafted higher. But he also plays better people. But that's why the Senior Bowl is big, that he didn't look out of place there.
Yeah.
Which is the issue with some of these other prospects. Like, I wish Jordan McGee at linebacker, I wish we'd seen him at the Senior Bowl. Or some all-star type thing. And they showed the clip of his helmet getting ripped off. Looks like an excited draft room. There's a child in there.
Yeah. I mean, so Murphy and Haynes, if you're going to stick and pick, that's realistically as good as you can do. You know, for the positions they've taken. Yeah.
Yeah, they done good. We said who's the best player available, and that was the thing. Then skewing for slightly for need, that was the obvious pick. We're doing well here, Griff. Like, with the Johnny Newton kind of medical stuff, like we're doing pretty damn good. And we've talked about all these people already, although we didn't actually watch Haynes' tape.
Gordon Naguma says, what does day one O-line look like? What is Griff's dog doing? He sounds like he's murdering a rabbit. Well, I've got my young dog challenging one of my older dogs to a fight. And then my older dog is trying to respect the rules in the house by not engaging too enthusiastically, but still wants to show him who's boss. So a little bit of a power struggle going on at the moment.
It happens.
Sorry about that. Day one O-line. So as of right now, left tackle, you would think Cross, left guard, Laken Tomlinson, center, Oluwatimi, right guard, Haynes wins the camp battle, right tackle, Lucas, right?
Yeah, Anthony Bradford would be disappointed, but I'm just not sure about his foot speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to hear from Schneider. They could just be there, like, learn left guard to Haynes immediately, and then he's put in a tough position.
Yeah, very true.
Because otherwise, the battle at left guard between Laken Tomlinson and Tremaine Ankrum, which is like, where's the real upside from that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rams took Corum.
Did you see also the Cardinals took Tip Ryman?
Yeah.
They're gonna basically just being 13 personnel run duo. Only need Marvin Harrison Jr. as your receiver anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC West run games look terrifying.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
So what did you like about Corum, Griff?
I don't know if I necessarily liked him. I just thought he was solid.
Okay.
I'm surprised, though, that McVay was on that.
Right, just because of how light he is?
Yeah. And I don't know if I'd consider him like a, primarily zone back. But then again, Stafford is mixing it up more and more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's Seattle done for the day. You would think.
You would think.
They're one pick. Do we want to talk about some of the reports, Griff, on
Yeah, sure.
On Michael Penix and Seattle, right? Do we want to talk about that? Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me let me dig them out, and then we can. All right. So, Griff, first of all, what did you hear? What did we hear before the draft about the Seahawks?
Well, I don't remember what we said yesterday, but they should come as no surprise, but they were definitely involved with trades, and Schneider said the same. And then two separate sources that I know don't know each other said that implied that Metcalf was a variable. But one source was more forthright about it, and then the other one was like, he's come up, basically. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth.
Well, meanwhile, on that subject, James Palmer, right? Who does James Palmer work for now?
Well, while you find that, the other thing was one of the sources also said that Seattle was trying to make a move for a linebacker too, but this was well before the draft. So,
yeah. So on that subject, James Palmer reported that the Seahawks, Saints, and Raiders all tried to get into the top 10 for Michael Penix per sources. Then Greg Bell of the Tacoma News Tribune said he didn't get the sense from the team it was a concerted effort, that it was too high. Meanwhile, there was a report from
Crabtree shooting it down.
Curtis Crabtree, who is of... Is he with the Times? No, Fox 13, saying, I was told the report of the Seahawks trying to trade into the top 10 for Michael Penix Jr. was not accurate. So, but the top 10 is quite specific. So the way my read of the situation is, they like Michael Penix. They wanted to know where he was going to go. And the trade chips Seattle have aren't picks. They don't have a second round pick. So they didn't really have the draft asset to go up and get someone. So they probably had conversations where DK Metcalf's name was raised. They explored what they could maybe get back for him. And they probably explored, the possibility of doing things. Then they kind of maybe found out or had an inkling that Penix was going to go really high, like top 10. And then they also probably the juice isn't worth the squeeze with the Metcalf trade, and they just said nah. But I think it's just the conversations which happen, and then that's how that kind of all filters out, right?
Yeah.
But I'm certainly glad they didn't do it.
Oh no, I would have been pretty ticked off if they trade DK, just because it's just playing musical chairs with core players. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And all these, I feel like what accelerates it are these short deals, these 3-year deals.
Right.
I'm getting pretty fatigued by it, honestly. And I generally kind of err on the side of being like not pro Schneider, but like I think I'm not like polarized against him, but the 3-year deals are frustrating because he's bringing in players that are good, but then we're also saying goodbye to them at a faster than I think they need to. And he's not the type to play with the cap to really try to, jigsaw things together that way.
Right. So, moving on from that subject, did you watch the Mike Macdonald, John Schneider press conference?
Yes.
What were your main takeaways?
Just that they clearly really like Murphy. They clearly had him ranked very highly. As they said, the best defensive player on their board.
Kind of nervous people were going to trade for Byron and jump ahead of them. Said he's such a good player, has an obvious influence on game. Schneider was saying, like, he was talking.
Right. He said that there were supposedly trade back offers.
He said they had 4, I think, offers, and he said they were good ones too.
Yeah, and of course he's going to say that just to hype up the pick either way. I think part of it is they just didn't value the second round of this draft very much. That's probably smart, I guess.
Yeah, like when Junior Colson's going in the 3rd round, and I mean, to a degree, you could say Christian Haynes, right? And Rook O'Roro goes in the 2nd high. The difference between those two types of player, I know O'Roro tested crazy, but kind of just like who is a good football player right now. I would take Colson over him, yeah. It was also interesting how Schneider said that the 2 corners who obviously Seattle was linked with, particularly Terrion Arnold heavily, but there was some Quinion Mitchell talk. But it was interesting. He said they were damn good players, and Philadelphia and Detroit, good football teams getting good corners, and those guys usually would be easily mid-round picks, like as in mid-first round picks. So, suggests that they had considered them and liked those players. They just obviously went for the number 1 defensive player on the board. So cool, as I think as Monjombo pointed out yesterday, but that Seattle was able to get their their first defensive player, but the 2nd defensive player taken in the draft. But this time, rather than maybe Will Anderson being their number 1 defensive player and obviously being taken before them, they actually get the shot at their number 1 dude. Kind of crazy at 16 that happened.
Right.
The press conference, they were very positive. Macdonald just said about position flexibility, and they'll have some really sweet ways to move guys around and have them in different spots.
Yeah.
Based on the teams we're going to play. So I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Definitely. I really do hope we see nickel bear, nickel tight, or mint.
Yeah, 5 down nickel rather than 4 down.
And considering the division he's in now, right? The easiest way to handle bubble issues is to just bubble out the front, put 5 guys up the line of scrimmage, but then still be able to access most of your pass coverage calls by being in nickel. That's going to be necessary for Shanahan.
Like, what did he learn from their run defense over the last 8 games in Baltimore, being the 31st ranked EPA per play rushing defense and 30th in success rate?
Right.
What did he learn from that? Like, was it that you can't just sit in the same nickel? Like, is there just a structural issue?
I'm very curious to see how Macdonald evolves, leaving the kind of more spread out AFC to the more gap heavy NFC West in general.
Right. And that's also a big reason that getting more mass on the inside for Seattle with Murphy was important. So, Is Haynes also run game versatile? Christian Haynes, the fact he can pull, he can reach, he can do a lot of things.
Yeah, he can do it all.
Yeah, interested to watch that tape. Get some Yukon all 22. Good luck. So Pooney went to the 49ers.
Really? That's interesting.
I just heard it on your telly.
My bad.
But
that's interesting. I wonder what his vision is.
Yeah, I guess it's also neat, going back to the Haynes pick, it's neat that they kind of got their pick of the guard, that type of guard. Like, Haynes didn't go and then they're stuck with Pooney, you know? They kind of got that tier.
Yep.
Right. Well, chat, any questions for us? Keep them coming. We've got 892 people in here. Nice. Love that. And while you're asking questions, Drift, day 3. In terms of needs, linebacker is still an issue. You could do with like a safety / nickel type. Not sure what else.
Yeah, safety, linebacker. Maybe Rattler. The league clearly doesn't want to touch Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that should, Griff, like, that should say that the character stuff, even with the maturity that he supposedly gained, there's still a problem for them.
Right. I mean, if you just take his South Carolina tape, both those 2 years at face value, it's straight up. It might be the 3rd or 4th best tape in the class. Like, but he has the baggage of not just his play at Oklahoma, but all the character stuff.
Yep.
But if you only looked at South Carolina and were dead to the world with all the drama there, with the drama prior to South Carolina, I mean, he's firmly like a top 20 player.
Is Jerry Jones drinking a Bloody Mary? Looks like he's drinking a Bloody Mary, or like a pint of Negroni.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jaden Hicks or Malik Mustafa would be cool. I know.
Cowboys just took Liu Fao.
Cool. Good for them. Yeah. Cameron asked, who do you want at 102? Yeah, I'd go with Mustafa. Just because of the ability to run and hit and tackle. I wouldn't be averse to double dipping at guard.
Yeah.
Like for the right type of like Mahogany or McCormick, just testing wise, and then some of their flashy plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nothing wrong with taking a day 3 guy and kind of, developing them. Also, if it's someone who's got left side experience, that would be a plus, right?
Right, definitely.
Mahogany, I believe, played on the left in his maybe 2 games in his freshman or redshirt freshman year.
Yep. Browns took Zinter.
Right. Okay. So those guys might have gone, but pick 102. I mean, Kinchins is still an option as well. Yeah, one of the safeties, I think, at 102 is what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Unless you feel like Jalen Ford is a good idea there, Griff.
But I do think fourth round makes sense for him.
Would you rather Jalen Ford or Cedric Gray?
I don't know.
Because those are the 2 Mike guys remaining.
I might go Gray, honestly.
Yeah. David, your question about do you like any of the remaining off-ball linebackers? David, we really like Michael Barrett from Michigan, who played Will for them. He was recruited and first started in Mike Macdonald's defense as a nickel, so he has some really fluid coverage ability that we outlined when we watched him, but he's much more of a will type player. And then McGee, who we spoke about earlier in the show, but he's again more of a will, but he had some splashy plays, just level of competition. He also tested well. He's just lighter type as well. So war number 6 at Temple, which they give to their dog on the defense. So yeah, those two. And David, those are names that aren't really thought of as like 4th round picks. They could be 5th, 6th, even 7th. So yeah, those are 2 off ball dudes. But in terms of getting your mic, is Jalen Ford or Cedric Gray, as we've just spoke about.
Yeah.
Will asking thoughts on James Williams out of Miami. You watched him, Griff?
Pardon? Who was that?
James Williams out of Miami.
Yeah. I don't know if he should. He's tricky. He might be more of a tweener than a true versatile guy.
Who was the wide receiver who wore number 6 in Michigan? Is that
Was that Roman or Cornelius?
Is that Cornelius? I forgot. I'm completely blanking on his surname. Griff, what's his surname?
Cornelius Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. See, whoever wore 6 at Michigan, I'd take him in the 4th round. I watched him run a 26-yard comeback and the timing be off with McCarthy. But okay, so but the way he snapped the comeback off and the way he accelerated, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It was Cornelius Johnson running that route.
Okay.
I don't know if you can take another like DK type.
No.
Like just because of what DK means for the offense.
Mm-hmm.
You already have to accommodate and skill set that. Having 2 of those is just very hard to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, anything else we need to talk about, Griff?
I don't think so. I think we covered it, barring a late trade up.
I really don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But the nice news is round 4, the Panthers pick, and then the Seattle Seahawks pick. Immediately back. So in terms of going live tomorrow, what time does it kick off?
I think 9. Yeah.
Wow. That is early.
I don't think I'll be able to go live, unfortunately. Maybe.
I'll be live. I'll be live. So we'll try Griff on when he can make it. He'll give us a better opinion than mine, so that'll be good.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'll be back live and Griff will join us some point tomorrow, but I'll be doing it from the start. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, retweet it as well if you're on Twitter. Just share it with people. It does help. And yeah, thank you so much. We're enjoying it. Good, pretty solid pick again. I think they're building they're doing what they can, and then they're not crapping the bed. And yeah, it's interesting what we hear from John Schneider. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but does he mention Haynes just working at left guard? That's what I'm going to be paying attention for. Or
right.
is he a right guard? But thank you. Henry, prediction Newcastle versus Sheffield United. Henry, I think we'll win 9-0.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like
away at Sheffield, we beat them 8-0, Griff. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. See you, people. Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Bang. Oh, no, that's not what we do. Hold on.